You want to get up here too?
Yeah.
You get up here too. I can hold 2 boys. Oh, goodness. I can hold 2 boys.
I think yours good.
Being they're such good
Lexi,
boys.
how about if you go over by other grandpa and then I can get all of you guys in the video.
Yes.
How about I go by Laney?
Okay, take the Laney to grandpa.
And after
What am I supposed to be doing?
Tell them your stories. Your African stories.
Well, that's not hard to tell. Because when I was in Africa,
Let
the lions were the meanest lions in Africa. And the snakes were the biggest. And my golly, one day there's a snake after me. And he was the ugliest snake you ever seen. He even had black teeth. Real black teeth. And this snake, he decided he was going to eat me. And I started running. And he could run faster than I could. And so I just stopped, and the snake went right on. He couldn't stop quick enough to get me. And so he turned around and he said, "Little boy, I'm going to eat you." And I said, "Mr. Snake, I'm not very good eating today. I ain't very fat." And I said, "If I can have some more beans, maybe I'll get fatter and be gooder." And so this snake, he listened to me. And then I went around and I got on his tail and I pulled a face at him, ugly face, the ugliest I could pull. And and I run up his tail a little and he bit part of his tail off. And oh, that made that snake mad because he had a mouthful of tail and he didn't get the boy.
What face did you make out on Grandpa?
And so he thought, well, I'll get him next time. And I stood on his back, and this snake, he reached around everything, sneaked around. He was sneaky, the snake was, sneaky snake. And he reached around there, and he bit again. And I ran up his tail a little farther. And he bit some more of his tail off. And there was a snake, and he bit off 2 pieces of tail. And oh, he was mad. He gritted his teeth. He said, "Little boy, I'm going to eat you." And I thought, "Mr. Snake, you're not quick enough to get me." And so he tried one more time, and he bit off some more of his tail. And pretty soon he would bit again, and he bit some more of himself off. And pretty soon there was all was left was his head. And I just picked his head up and threw it in his mouth.
Did you guys hear that?
And that was all there was of that snake. But you know, that snake never did like me.
That is a good story, huh, Jack?
Are you a snake like Jack?
Lex, you like that story?
Yeah. It's my turn to tell a story.
No, it's still Grandpa's. He's got a few more.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to tell any story.
Another story?
You can tell the best story.
You ought to tell them that one about the lion, though, again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was walking down and there's trees on both sides of me. And I looked behind me and there was something sneaky behind me. And I looked back and there was a great big lion. And he had teeth that long. Oh, he had the ugliest teeth and he never did brush them.
Oh.
And I wasn't going to let no lion eat me that didn't brush his teeth. I just wouldn't let no lion that didn't brush his teeth eat me. And I looked up in front of me and there was another lion. And that lion, he looked at me and he licked his lips. And he thought, that sure looks like a good-looking boy. I'll just eat him. And there was trees on both sides. There was no place for me to go. And the lion behind me took a run at me, and the lion in front of me took a run at me, and I jumped up in their air, and they ran down each other's throat. And the one of them shut his mouth a little too quick, and he bit off the other's tail. And Grandma has it to dust with now. She has a duster, a
lion's tail duster.
That is
You
a
want
good
to see
story.
that?
Now lay down, baby.
Yeah, tell him about the native one, Daddy.
Cats to be the lions.
Yeah.
No, put him in the position. No, lay down, baby. Okay, tell another story, like 5 more. I like this.
How about the story about the natives?
The natives?
Vicky, do you know that one?
No.
Is that the one you're talking?
The what?
yummy.
They were in a circle.
The what?
Spears. The natives were in a circle.
The
With their
what?
spears.
The natives
The
were in a
natives?
circle with their spears.
Oh, well, that was an easy one. That was so easy you can't believe it. But I was walking down there in the mountains, and then I got on this bare ground, and all at once they all stood up, and I was in the middle of this circle. And they took their spears back, and you know, none of them had brushed their teeth. They smiled. And I wasn't going to let no native eat me that didn't brush his teeth.
He did not brush his teeth.
You did not.
And so they threw their spears, and I ducked clear down onto the ground, and just laid down on the ground, and their spears went right straight across. And by golly, they speared every one, and so they didn't get to eat me.
Oh.
I tell that story in Africa.
Now the lion inside out.
What?
The lion inside out.
Use those
Well,
lions.
that's a hard one to tell. I can't
Oh,
hardly remember.
I love that.
I can't hardly remember it, but I do know this lion was the meanest lion in the whole jungle. And all of the other lions were scared of him. And when this lion would walk down through the trees, all of the other lions would get away behind a tree. Oh, he was the meanest lion. And he had quite a long tail. And he was the ugliest lion. When he put a face, it looked like he was smiling beside me. He was just the darndest lion you ever seen.
Did you see him?
And I seen him, yeah.
He was
And
there.
He was sneaky too, and he didn't brush his teeth. And I wasn't going to let no lion that eat me that didn't brush his teeth. Not me, not a bite. But anyway, he decided he was going to eat me. And he come a sneaking there with his juicy lips, you know, and he thought, nice fat little boy, I'll eat him. I'll just eat him. And so, anyway, he got right behind me, and he come a-running, and he opened his mouth, and I jumped up in the air, and he missed me. And he caught his tooth on limb. And there that lion was hanging there, and his tooth was in the limb, and he couldn't get down. And he said, little boy, he says, will you help me get down? And I said, if you'll promise not to eat me. And you know what? Just as soon as he got down, he broke his promise. He started trying to eat me again. And I just didn't like that lion, and I knew he was telling lies. And there's nothing worse than a lying lion. There is nothing worse. I'll tell you what, if you talk to the man upstairs, he'd say there's nothing worse than a lying lion. And I didn't like that lion very good.
I know what story is.
And so I went over to the river, and that lion thought, well, I'll eat that little boy while he's swimming. And he jumped in the river and started swimming after me, and he couldn't swim as fast as I could. And when he got tired, I went and tied his tail on a great big tree. And he was out in that river, and his tail wasn't long enough, you know, so they could get back on the ground. And he finally drowned right in that damn river. And he had to drink all that dirty water.
Tell that one again. I like it when you said the damn.
Jackson.
He said, tell that one again. I like it when you said the damn part.
Say that one again, please. Please, oh please.
Because you're not allowed to say that word.
And the beaver's
There's
bill.
one thing about it. Your grandpa never did turn out to tell a lie. And I was going to tell a lie one time. And I figured out the best lie that I could tell. And you know, it turned out to be the truth, so I never did try to lie.
Tell another story and then use these. You want me to be one?
Inside out lion.
The inside out lion.
Tell another one. He reached out his soul and pulled him inside out and he's running this. Oh, I'm sure these help.
The one where they put his
Okay.
But I caught a fish once. And that was a fish that swims so fast. And he tried to get away, and he was swimming so fast that he made the water hot, and the water started to boil and cooked him. And we eat him that night for supper.
That's a good fish story.
Grandpa, tell the one that you pulled the lion's mouth out.
His tail and made him go inside out.
Yeah,
Where you reached in his mouth and grabbed his tail.
Oh, Mom, can I sit by you?
Well, we'll sit over there so I can get on the video.
I had so many lion stories that I can't remember them all. But somebody told me I told a good one time. But there was a bad snake one time. And this was the ugliest snake you ever seen. He was so ugly that when he smiled, he was ugly. And that's pretty ugly, I'll tell you. When they smile and they're ugly, they're ugly. That's one thing you can bet on.
Was he like this?
Oh, he smiles so ugly.
Like how, Jack?
He just smiles so ugly that you just can't believe it. And the fact is, he'd look at a tree and he'd smile and the tree'd wilt.
Did you see his face?
I seen his face, you bet. He had the ugliest face when he smiled. If you took a picture of it, it'd have broke the camera.
That's pretty darn ugly.
Yeah. Oh, you are in big trouble. That snake will eat you in 1 second.
Well, I'll tell you what, I tried to tell a lie once.
Why?
Well, I don't know why. I don't really know why I tried to tell a lie, other than I thought I could tell it good enough it'd sound true.
Take your teeth out.
Oh, I can't do that unless I do this.
Now, look.
Chandler, come watch Grandpa.
Get
You
that
can
on
take his
video
teeth out.
again.
Get that.
Let me see that again, okay?
Here he goes.
Watch Chandler.
Oh, cool. I saw that on video. That was
Right in that damn river.
okay. Tell the line that you pulled his tail out and kicked.
They want to hear the story about when the lion was running at you. You reached down his throat, grabbed his tail, and turned him inside out.
Oh, well, that lion opened his mouth too wide.
Finish your snake story first. The snake that was mean and remember with the camera.
Oh, that snake was so mean. You know, that snake could look in the mirror and he'd hate himself. They called him the hate snake.
What if there was too
And that
bad?
snake, he decided he was going to eat me one time. And I didn't want him to eat me because I was too young. And I wasn't fat enough yet. And snakes don't like to eat you unless they're fat. And I wasn't fat yet. No, you're not fat.
That's like this. That's right.
But anyway, this was the ugliest snake you ever seen. He was the ugly his mother hated him.
You're so ugly. Did you have to fight outside? Outside on it?
Do I what?
Yeah.
I have to watch it kind of, you know, if they get out, they might bite somebody. And there was a pretty girl, and she wanted me to put my teeth out. And I'll tell you what, they got out and bit her. And she cried all the way home and told her mother that my teeth bit her.
And then what happened to you?
Well, her mother come and wanted to spank me. But I just pulled my ears like that and my teeth come out. Just scared her mother and she went home and cried.
That is your snake story. Yeah. The rest of that ugly snake.
The ugliest snake?
Yeah.
Well, he was so ugly they couldn't take a picture of him because it break the camera.
Yep, that would happen. Oh, so ugly. This was the ugliest story that me and
mother-
her said. His brothers what happened when me and her said this story? It
Ugly.
was a hate story.
And he had an ugly tail. And he'd wiggle his tail and it'd rattle. And he was kind of a rattlesnake, see. But he'd wiggle his tail and it'd rattle. It'd make a funny noise. It'd scare everybody. But he was a bad snake.
Very, very bad.
Grandpa's got good stories.
Oh, now come in, let's tell a story of our own. Let Grandpa finish it. Yeah.
Well, this was the baddest snake of all. Everybody in the jungle hated that bad snake.
Was there
Even the lions hated that bad snake.
Did the lion that was bad hate him? Let me tell
Well,
you something.
he was such a bad snake the lion wouldn't eat him because he didn't taste good. The lion took a taste of him and made him puke.
What's that?
Throw up.
I could throw up on it here.
Yeah, just that lion, he was so ugly.
So what did he do? What happened?
And that snake was ugly too. And
No.
they was going to take a picture of him and it
I'll
broke
be
the
the
camera.
one. My arms are really pretty instead of it.
Listen.
But the baddest snake of all, the very baddest one, was the one that wouldn't eat his dinner.
I wouldn't eat my dinner. These are its teeth and its mouth. I bet I seen a little snake at Nathan's house in the gutter.
Did it eat its dinner?
No, it was a bad snake. It tried to bite him for no reason. Yeah, actually
them
it was
snakes
a
are
dead
so bad.
snake.
You were his
Them
dinner.
snakes are so bad sometimes they even bite themselves.
Remember you
just to make
picked him
yourself
up
mad.
and he shoot down this little hole. Remember we saw him in the gutter?
You got a better memory than me.
Okay, let's let Jack
And
tell
you
a
know
story
when a
now.
snake bites himself, they get the bellyache. And
They're eating themselves and it's just
they get mad at somebody and then they'll bite
they
themselves.
get mad at themselves and then they keep biting themselves.
They bite themselves and then they get the bellyache.
Oh!
And they get a bellyache so bad they can't go to the bathroom.
That's funny.
Lexi, what if you couldn't go potty? What would happen?
Pee his pants. He couldn't pee. He'd have to, like, his pee would go out of his mouth. That would probably happen.
I'm glad that
Let me tell you something. Was there a deer in the
Lexi
forest?
was taped in about 10 years. You're gonna feel a little bit embarrassed. Okay, that's.
Yeah. I'll first finish your snake story.
You're too young to hear that story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Grandpa, first finish.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
You have to say.
I'll tell the nose about the chin.
He's going to tell one
My
that he
mother
thinks.
used to say, now if you don't behave yourself, I'll see your nose above your chin. And I'll tell you that made me mind so good. She just thought I was a heavenly boy. Because she'd say, now if you don't mind good, I'll see your nose above your chin. Ain't that something? She seen my nose above my chin? Yeah.
And then when you pulled the lion inside out.
Well, he was running too fast. And he just come running for me like that. And I reached, and he opened his mouth wide. I reached clear and back and got a hold of his tail and jerked on it. And I turned him inside out and he went running the other way. And his hair was on the inside and his belly was on the outside. And he got cold. He got cold and he got the croup.
I bet it was tickly on the inside because there's so much fur.
But he got the croup and he coughed and coughed.
No more
He didn't
haircuts.
have no hair. He didn't have no hair on the inside. On the outside. He had like all his hair on the inside. And that made his belly ache. It got too hot.
His stomach and his
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was an ugly lion. that was the ugliest lion I've ever seen. When he'd smile, he was
What if the
evil.
lion bit your
Ask him. Ask him.
Grandpa, what if the lion bit your wrist?
What? What do you
Ask him
want?
again. Say what? Ask him.
Oh, just
He wants to know what if the lion bit your wrist.
Bit my wrist?
What if
Well,
it happened?
it'd break his teeth. My wrist is so tough. The lions don't want to bite my wrist.
He's tough,
I
Jack.
bet he learned his lessons. That if he bit your wrist and his teeth. If he bit my wrist, he learned his lesson because he couldn't eat his supper.
Right. And then he'd be hungry. And then if he got a little white blood, it'd give him the bellyache. And he'd have to go to the bathroom.
Did you see a deer in the forest?
What?
A deer in the forest?
What about alligators?
Oh, alligators. Did you see those?
Why, of course. I had an alligator that was so pretty that his mother hated him.
So pretty, and his mother hated him.
Yeah. His mother just didn't like him as so pretty.
Why?
Well, mamas don't like pretty alligators.
This will be the alligator. I'll be this because my hands are really pretty. Look, I'll be the.
And he didn't brush
I'll
his
be the
teeth,
mother.
that alligator.
Oh. This one, the pretty one. Animals don't brush their teeth but they could reach their tails back and brush their teeth. I'll do this.
Well,
Except Thursday.
alligators
They're
should
brushing
brush
their
their
teeth. Oh, he's got
teeth
scissors.
after they eat.
Why? They
Well,
will.
they
They try to
get
wipe
blood on them
themselves.
and it don't look good on them.
He's got
When
scissors
they
in his
smile,
hand.
they got bloody teeth. And if they don't brush them, why they got blood on their teeth?
I got an alligator in my class, a toy alligator.
Hurry, please.
Okay, let's get on with the story. I like alligators. Oh,
About
me
alligators,
looks gonna tell a good story.
Okay, you gotta listen to Grandpa first, though. Okay.
oh, thank you.
So the alligator story.
Another alligator story?
No.
I just
continue
about
with
run
that
out of
one.
alligator story, but I got some good lion stories.
Oh, we want to hear them. Oh yeah, we'll be the
And
lions.
I got some good bear
Yeah, we'll be the
stories.
lions. Can I be
Bear story.
And I got some good bear stories.
Jack, he's gonna tell you a bear story. Listen.
Oh, I love bears.
Okay, listen up. He's gonna tell a
There's
bear
just a
story.
bear up in Alaska. And that's where it's so cold that the ice is so cold
Oh, is it a polar bear?
that it just keeps freezing and freezing. And it's so cold that the
In school,
that
she
the
has
bear
a
has to wear 3 coats. If he ain't got 3 coats on, he freezes. And he has to walk on his knees so his feet won't get cold.
Guess what? I've got 5 polar bears that live in Alaska, and guess what? Grandpa, polar bears. We read a story that was called Polar Bear Leaves, and his mother, he got taken away by some ice, and he slipped and fell off, and his mother got
Look at the camera.
him. Time.
Well, them bears have to be careful.
Yep, very careful. Just
They can only walk on 2 feet at one time. They walk on 2 feet here, and then they put the other feet up like this, get them warm, and then they walk on these 2 feet. And it's so cold up
First
there.
he'd walk on these 2 feet, and then he'd walk on these 2 feet.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Oh, you want to see me walk? Jackson can walk on his feet, but he'd walk on his hands pretty good. It's really easy, really. Try it. Yeah, try it. Maybe fun. Maybe you would touch. Mommy, watch. Mommy, video.
Like you got to go on your right leg and your right foot and your right knee. Then over to your left.
Oh, what if I could
Yeah,
walk
and then
on
back.
one
Then on the
hand?
other side.
What if I could walk on one hand?
Ready?
No, what? No, let's let Grandpa finish his stories. He's got 2 that he hasn't finished.
Where you going, dude?
No, let's. Grandpa told enough stories. Okay, Lex, how long? We're gonna be okay? Okay, we're alligators. And Jackson saw the story. Yep, but there's 2 alligators in the story. when this alligator was in the water, the meanest one you've ever seen. Yeah, it has bloody teeth.
Oh, no.
And it's bloody because they see the show star blood. You couldn't even put them together.
Lexi, let's let Jack tell a story, then you can, okay?
Jackson, remember how his teeth were so pointy that they made his gums bloody. Yeah, Lexi, I'll tell the story, okay? Okay. Well, Lexi swim. Stop. Lexi, stop. When Lexi was an alligator, she had these bloody, speaking up a story. She could only open, she couldn't eat. And she couldn't brush her teeth. She had to brush her mouth.
And what else, Jack?
She couldn't eat any food because she spit out her dinner when she ate it. And then she had bloody teeth. And she wouldn't want to eat her dinner because then she got blood on. She loved meat, so she ate all day and all night.
Oh, good story, Jack.
And then I'm gonna tell another story. All the person's gonna tell a story. Then Dad's gonna videotape, and then Mom's gonna videotape. Okay? I'll tell a story when I hold my arm. I'll tell that story.
What's your daddy?
I'm telling you.
Look at what Nathan did to Chandler.
I know what you are.
I all wet too.
Okay, let me just tell something.
Okay.
Let me tell something.
It's me and I'm rescuing you.
He's screaming.
No.
Yeah.
Let's not.
But,
Over here.